She was found burned in a remote valley. Her fingerprints had been scraped away. Her clothing labels were cut out, and every country she claimed to be from denied knowing her. Police sealed parts of this case almost immediately. Witnesses changed their stories, and 50 years later, the woman known only as the Isdal Woman still has no name. On November 29, 1970, a father and his 2 daughters were hiking through Isdalen, a remote valley near Bergen, Norway. The area was known locally as Death Valley, a place where accidents were common and survival was never guaranteed. That afternoon, they smelled something strange. Smoke. Not from a campfire, but from a body. Lying among the rocks was the burned remains of a woman. Her face was unrecognizable. Her hands were charred beyond identification. She had been partially burned alive. Near her body were items laid out carefully. A broken umbrella, empty liquor bottles, sleeping pills. But there were no identification documents, no wallet, no passport. From the very beginning, this was not treated like an accident. When investigators examined her clothing, something disturbing became clear. Every label had been cut out, every tag removed, every mark that could trace the clothing to a country erased. Inside her suitcase, police found wigs, multiple pairs of glasses with different prescriptions, foreign currency from several countries, a notebook filled with coded symbols. She had checked into hotels across Norway under at least 8 different aliases, and none of them were real. When police tried to trace the names, they led nowhere. No birth records, no immigration records, no history. It was as if this woman had stepped into the world fully formed and planned to vanish without a trace. The autopsy revealed something even more disturbing. She had ingested between 50 and 70 sleeping pills before she died, but she hadn't overdosed. Instead, the pills had sedated her, leaving her conscious but helpless. Traces of gasoline were found on her clothing, on her hair, on her body. This wasn't suicide, and it wasn't accidental. Someone had ensured she couldn't escape. Yet police would later publicly suggest that she had taken her own life. Almost immediately, questions began to surface. Several witnesses came forward. One man said he saw the woman days earlier walking through the valley, with 2 men following closely behind her. Another witness reported seeing a woman matching her description boarding a bus, accompanied by men who spoke a foreign language. But later, those statements were quietly altered. Witnesses retracted details. Timelines shifted, descriptions changed. Some witnesses would later say they felt pressured. And then, the case went quiet. Inside her luggage was a notebook filled with strange letters and numbers. At first, it looked meaningless, but investigators eventually realized it was a code, one that mapped her movements across Europe. Hotels, train stations, cities. She had traveled extensively, always changing names, always staying one step ahead of something or someone. Why was she documenting her movements like an intelligence operative? And why was this detail barely mentioned in official reports? The Isdal Woman case unfolded at the height of the Cold War. Norway sat dangerously close to the Soviet Union. NATO military activity was high. Foreign agents moved quietly through Europe. Some investigators believed she was a spy. She used disguises. She carried coded notes. She avoided leaving fingerprints. She traveled under multiple identities. Even her dental work suggested she had grown up in Eastern Europe, not the countries she claimed to be from. And yet, no intelligence agency has ever claimed her. Officially, within months, parts of the investigation were classified. Key documents were restricted. Certain witness statements were never released to the public. Evidence disappeared. The case was quietly closed. No suspects, No follow-ups, no explanation. The woman was buried in an unmarked grave. No name, no family notified. Just silence. Decades later, a woman came forward. She claimed she had spoken with the Isdal Woman shortly before her death. The woman remembered her accent, her fear, her warning. She said she was afraid, and that people were watching her. That testimony reopened old questions. Why was this witness ignored at the time? Why was her statement buried? And why were parts of the case still sealed? Today, the Isdal Woman remains one of Europe's most disturbing mysteries. No name, no origin, no clear cause of death. Only theories. A spy eliminated by foreign agents. A woman's silenced to protect secrets. Or a victim of something much closer to home. But one fact remains undeniable. This case was never fully investigated, and someone made sure of that. She traveled across Europe under false names. She erased every trace of her identity. She moved like someone trained to disappear. And when she died, the truth disappeared with her. No family ever came forward. No country claimed her. No agency accepted responsibility. Only sealed files and unanswered questions. Thank you for watching Dark Past. If this story disturbed you, make sure you like the video, comment with your theory about who the Isdal Woman really was, and subscribe so you don't miss episode 3. The next case goes even deeper, and the files are even more tightly sealed.